before I lay me down, let's get this off my chest first. Excerpt of my life, I call it my next verse. I'm stressed, keep it in perspective, I'm an expert about this Northwest way of life, hey, it could end worse. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. This is an episode of UpLeft State of Mind. This is the podcast where it's okay to not be okay. This is the show that unpacks the pressure, the pain, and the process from mental health struggles to finding your identity, the healing process, and even ways that we can grow as individuals. There's no filters, there's no fluff, just raw conversations with people who are learning how to hold everything or how to let it all go. I'm your host, Rizzle, and whether you're tuned in from somewhere inside the beautiful, majestic Pacific Northwest that I call home or somewhere else like our guest today, I guess, I don't know, Utah's technically a little bit Pacific Northwest, but this is your safe space. This is a place that you can be and breathe and a place where you can remember that it's okay to not be okay. So with that, let's get into it. First off, I'm going to do a little self-check with myself just to kind of see where I'm at. It's been a week. I started a new podcast and it's been stressful, but it's been something I've really wanted to do for a long time. So we are pushing along and we're jumping in head first. I've started podcasts in the past, but I've never really felt like I was doing I didn't feel like I was going in the direction with it that I've wanted to, and this just feels right. This feels good. It feels like I'm doing something with a purpose that I can be proud of, and so along with the stress, it's been a lot of reward too. And so I want to make sure that I just let people know that you can find balance no matter what you're doing. It's stressful and things get to be overwhelming at times, but as long as you have a good direction and you're staying true to, your purpose and your just who you are, things will be cool. You'll be able to find the balance that you need. So with that, I want to introduce our guest that we have here. This guy, an amazing culinary talent, extraordinary musician. He's a mediocre hooper. Somebody that, I've been able to count on for over 20 years of my life, and the best man in my wedding, man. This is your boy B. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, dog. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to have you on here, man. It's an honor to have you as my first guest.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's I knew you hit me up and you're like, hey, so what's up? And I'm like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do, bro. You gonna be the one? You gonna be the one that's on first? And of course. So of course. Yeah. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just a lot of up and coming things I'm excited about, and transitioning into a new place as well. So, new beginnings. It feels that not really somewhat a fresh start to me.
Yeah, you're in a new place.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Just moved in last Friday, so it's always kind of like a refreshing feeling when you move into a new space. And so that's what I'm just trying to get settled in. So slowly going, but getting there,
Cool. How are you handling? I talked about balance a little bit. How do you going through a move? And I'm sure you got work and you got all this stuff still, your music, and how are you finding time to just balance all of that?
Yeah, man, it can be stressful and a bit overwhelming just trying to incorporate all these other different responsibilities now, and it gets stressful. Like I said, it can get overwhelming. So it's all about prioritizing time.
Yep.
Making sure you have to find the time for it, but just when, right? And it can take down to just a simple chart. If you're good with doing it mentally, great. If you have that mental capacity, if you got to write it down,
that's me. Yeah.
Right. There could be so much stuff going on in our heads right now. At some time, and to throw another something responsibility into your head, it can throw just a wrench in the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really trying to do as far as
just find time for everything.
That's it.
Yep. Trying to find the positives, It's always stressful. So, you know, you just trying to take a couple seconds here and there to find something positive to be happy about. One thing that I feel like that's really helped me is when stuff gets stressful or I get overwhelmed or like you got the burden of this and this and this and this, is just like small victories, right? Because we all have like long-term goals, and like my goal for this month or my goal for this week, but like even to set like my goal for the first 4 hours of this day, you know, like sometimes you just, like they say, take it one day at a time. I've really had to slow it down and take it like an hour at a time sometimes, you know, and it's like just building up that positive momentum. Like it's crazy sometimes what that can do, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like those measurable goals. We all have an end goal, right? We all want to see what we're seeing at the end. But the most important steps is those steps are in between. Those small little baby steps and stepping stones that put you to your end goal. We always, you know, we try to sometimes see that end goal. That's all we see instead of what's in between that. And that's where it can really start to kind of weigh down heavy on us as far as like, you know, am I ever going to make it? Or, you know, just now is it out of my reach just because of not focusing more on those little stepping stones that'll get us there to that goal. So that's what we really got to take the time, slow down. Like I said, even though you said you get what you can done in a day, but like, hey, take it an hour at a time.
Man.
Right. Did it. Now let's move on to the next. What's next?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. So, where do I start here? I got so many questions for you. What's been something that I know music has been a tool for you, and we'll talk about that. I got a fly in here. What has been another tool? Do you have any other tools that you've used to try to just stay focused on your goal at hand or what you're currently trying to go through? Because I know it gets tough sometimes to just not spiral, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and especially, you know, not spiral, but then just fully immerse myself into it where I just like, okay, I stress myself out mentally, where it's just like, all right, got to move on to something else. But yeah, I do. I have a couple of things, you know. I love art. I love painting. So there's times where I just need to, you know, be in my own mind space, headspace, and just be, you know, see a canvas and have some paint in front of me and just let it go.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of zen for me and relax. It kind of helps with, you know, breathing and bring everything back in. Not somewhat of disconnect from drama in the world, somewhat, you know, and just be in my own head as well. And that's what kind of I've really been taken to. I've always loved art, you know, since I was younger. So, and it never really left me. And kind of just coming back to it as well has really been a help. You know, just dealing with life.
That's cool, man.
I've really been tapping back into that more and more now.
And that's important. That's so important for people. For guys especially, you know, we get stuck in that like tough guy thing, or, you know, like people look at us like we're supposed to be indestructible, and a lot of guys don't have those outlets, you know? And so like they just get stuck in the cycle of being the tough guy and pushing everything else aside and pushing everything else down inside of them. And so that's awesome that you have that. I hope that more people can find stuff like that to help get that stuff out.
Yeah, man. And if it's from something that you've been doing for years, or you're just picking up, just, you know, pick up something outside of what your norm is, you know, and get yourself out of that normal routine, the normal headspace that can just, you know, bring more stress. And bring on other things that you really don't need as when I have time for your head, you know, with all of everything else that's going on, right? So it's you know, take that time, just pick up something. You know, what you haven't done before.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get into a little bit about how you've used music as a tool, because we talked about, you know, your other expressions and stuff. So like what has music meant to you as far as something that's helped guide you mentally through the years, because we've been through some shit, man.
Yeah, and it's been a major outlet. Just like in the types of being, a letter. It's things that I want to say, don't know how to say it, verbally. And that's when I take it to pen and paper. And there's tough times. There's times I cried and been in anger writing music. But in the end, it's to recording it. It's going through that process that gives that release. Bottling it in, it can make it worse.
Yeah.
But with music, it gave me that outlet to express it in ways that I couldn't really express it.
Yeah.
So it's really done a lot for me in my life.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I definitely feel that. I've used it a lot to get it. It's like my form of journaling, like, right. What about performing? Have you, what does that do for you? Because I feel like that's such a release of like adrenaline, and like I feel like a high for like hours afterwards, like
I was kind of about to say the same thing. It's kind of one of those, like, people that are adrenaline junkies that, go skydiving to get that kind of rush. Like that's what it like it really given to me. It's all that hype and like that energy that you built up, energy that you got inside before you hop on stage, and those days to come. And then, you just get those nervousness. You go through so much like emotions, like you're nervous and then you're excited and then you're just so pumped and you got that adrenaline going to you. But then like once you get on stage and you're actually there in that moment, it's just like could be a blur, and you're just in the moment, and it's not, you turn into another person. It's just like everything's activated all at one time. And that emotion is kind of like I say, that adrenaline that people chase. And that's what it's given to me. And I've been wanting definitely to kind of get back on the stage. I think I've only performed about maybe 2 or 3 times since moving here to Utah. But it's definitely something on my list that I want to get back into.
I know, man. I want to get you back on the stage, man.
I miss it.
Yeah. Let me tap in with chat here real quick. We got a bunch going on. Kenny Johnson says, "What up, homie? What up, your boy B?"
Yes, sir.
Andrew, I'm pretty sure that's my homie Bandit. Andrew says, "You got this, bro. Gifty is proud, my dude." I appreciate that, man. Yeah, rest in peace, Gifty. We're always thinking about you, buddy. Kenny Johnson says, "Share this on all platforms." Yeah, if you guys could share this, if you guys could hit that thumbs up, that really does a lot. People helping people in the building.
My boy in the building. My boy.
He says, "First guest, your boy B. All love, gentlemen." If you guys don't know about people helping people, go check it out, man. You guys really need to go check out that podcast. It's a great show. Alexander J is over there doing some awesome things for people.
Oh man, I love that 30 and 30 segment, bro.
30 streams in 30 days was wild.
Man, that is a feat right there, dude. And to do that consistently, day in and day out, every day, and just come with that energy, man. That's props.
We were blessed to be on part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see what else he got and what else could to come.
Let's see here. Kenny Johnson says, I live my life one shitstorm to the next, bro. I think yeah, man. I feel that.
Some weird fashion.
Steven, my buddy Steve, he says, this guy, man, I know this guy I met him during COVID playing Call of Duty. These are some of my Call of Duty buddies in here too. Says Rizzle. Kenny Johnson says, I'm thinking about writing some pen to paper expression with music. We will see how it goes. Bro, if I had the clap track, man, yeah, do it. That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
You'll surprise yourself at what you come up with, man.
Man, even if you never show anybody and you just do it for yourself, it's crazy. It's crazy the feeling that you get when you when you make something like that and then you get to like listen back to it and you're like, man, like it just makes it real, you know, and you like really get to feel like I've been practicing for a show. I have a show tomorrow night, 7:30 in Salem at the Shack Bar and Grill. Cakes, Laughs, and Lyrics. If you guys want to come check it out, there's a bunch of dope comedians, and then I'll be up after that. But like shameless plug real quick. But yeah, so I was thinking about it's crazy to write when like getting in the mode of writing lyrics. Sometimes I don't even realize some of the things that I've written until I listen back. And I'm like listening to some of my songs, practicing, and I'm like, man, like I said that. And that made like I got touched by like my own shit made me think and like made me be like, and I like kind of questioned like how I like looked at something, and I was like, man, like that's crazy. So even if you show nobody, but you create some stuff, like it maybe someday down the line it will unlock something just even in your own brain.
You just said it's pretty much like a time capsule, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're locking something up in time, and you, like I say, when you go back to it and you just hear it again, doesn't matter if you already recorded it or you never recorded it, it's still just down on paper, and you read it and listen to it, and you'd be like, damn, like I did that, like that sounds pretty good, you know, just you know, and then you start thinking about where was my mind state at that moment, you know? And how it feels great, like how do I get back to that, you know?
It's
crazy.
It's wild going back and listening to old music because it puts me back into that not like back into that like I'm back into that time, but it like I feel some of those emotions, like it reminds me of the emotions that I was going through and like the things because we made a lot of music, man. We made a lot of music, and so like I have so many songs that I would create in such a small span of time that it like I listen to and I'm like, wow, like you can make them like a series, just one big 30-minute song almost sometimes, and just run them together like, and they would tell a story. It's crazy.
Yeah, we made a lot of music that we pretty much that's unreleased yet, and then we just like we'll put down a hook or something, or you know, the first, and then we'll just leave it because we found
yeah.
We got a good library.
And that's how music is sometimes. That's how expression is sometimes in general. Like whether it's painting or making music or anything. Like sometimes you're riding that creative wave, and then the wave just dies down maybe on that one ride, and so you're like, all right, I gotta wait and then you just jump on the next wave and keep going, you know. But it's crazy. That is a good segue into my next question. Speaking of like outlets and expression and stuff, what has cooking meant to you, as far as like not so much like helping you mentally, but like as a form of self-expression, like we've talked about?
Oh man, it's like it's a couple things, man. And like when I fell into love with food and cooking, you know, I first started off just watching my grandma in the kitchen, you know, super young, and learning the recipes and everything. And then like what really gave me the opportunity to really take it to the next level and me falling in love with it and how it helps me express myself is like, it's that, first of all, it's like that zen. You know, you got to take pride in your work, and that just goes to anything that you're doing, right? So that's how I took it into cooking. You know, I took pride in of the craft, from the preparing of each individual ingredients, trying new ingredients, plating this whole dish. You know, it's sometimes you see those dishes that just come out so nice. You know, when you go like Michelin star restaurants, it just looks so good. You want to touch it, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then it's just, I hope it tastes as good as it looks. You know, but those experiences, and that just shows in the pride and the time that these chefs and that it took to me as well as a chef, that's something that's like a zen to me, and to just sit there and look at my work that I've done and be appreciative of it, and then get that appreciation on that, you know, that somebody else that I'm presenting it to, or listeners and my audience and things like that. They show the appreciation for it too. That gives me comfort, you know. Then, you know, there's the other side of, you know, just when you're working in the kitchen, and just a fast paced go rush, high volume, just head down, go. You're a machine, and that rush and that anxiety and that, saying that adrenaline is also another thing that helps, keep the motor functions and keeps me focused, keeps my mind, working. Instead of just being stagnant. And so there's a combination of those two things that I feel, through that with food and how I express myself, and obviously become me, and your boy B that's sitting in front of you today.
Yeah, yes, sir. You kind of stole my next question. I was going to ask about what like stresses come with a life in the kitchen. I mean, like you said, I mean, you can expand on that more if you'd like. I mean, I know you like just scratch. Yeah.
I mean, I just scratched the surface on the stresses of the kitchen. I mean, it's like I said, the anxiety, and some people, that's where some people, they can't handle that much, of anxiety, of a nonstop go, high pressure, high volume environment.
Yep.
So it's something that you have to, know in yourself, if you can be accustomed to that and you can handle that. If you can handle somebody yelling, 3, 4, or 5 orders at you at one time while you're trying to plate 3, 4, or 5 other dishes, and you have to repeat that same order back, right? And still keeping the same mode consistent, day in and day out, and it's very physical heavy. So that's those, and that's just scratching the surface of it. It's very physically, mentally demanding.
It's also rewarding though, right? I mean, at the same time, you get like, do you feel, I mean, obviously you would feel like the reward outweighs the stress, or else you wouldn't do it anymore. You know what I mean?
But that's what you hear most chefs say. They'll say all the negatives about it, and then go right back to, I love it.
I love it.
That's why I love it.
Yeah.
It's it's the structured chaos. That's what a kitchen is, and if you can handle that, and then it's just like I said, it's an adrenaline that I love being in those kind of those atmospheres, and it just it keeps me going. And like I said, I love putting out good food and sexy food. Obviously, that food that tastes good. So love it, man.
Yeah. Let's see here. Old Man Burger says, hello there, Rizzle. What's up, Gare? How you doing, man? Thank you for being here. Kenny Johnson says cooking is a love language.
Yes, sir. Yes,
it is.
It's true.
Yep. He also says, I cooked for 26 years. Talk about being overwhelmed sometimes. Yeah, I didn't cook for 26 years. I cooked for about 2, and yeah, that's crazy. It's stressful, man. I don't envy the stressful times. That's for sure.
I hear you.
Yeah. People Helping People says, busy running errands while I listen, loving it so far. Question: how, as a man, do you guys allow yourself to be most vulnerable? And what up, Kenny? All love, brother. That's a great question.
Really good question. Alex always going through with a good question.
Yep. How, as a man, do you guys allow yourself to be most vulnerable? How do I allow myself to be most vulnerable? I think as a man, it's important to, and we kind of talked about this earlier, but it's important to not, I think in general, like just from a starting point, it's important to not have that wall or that facade of having to be the tough guy, from the beginning. If you show a little bit of self-awareness, I think, about what's going on inside your feelings and stuff, then that opens the door for you to be able to be vulnerable in, I guess, a controlled way, instead of, because we've all become vulnerable from situations we had no control of, and that's a scary feeling. And so, yeah, I think just being in control of the circumstances, controlling your emotions, knowing that it's okay to not be okay, and just being open and outward with how you feel from the beginning,
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think coming from me is just like showing, being humble, and putting your arrogance aside. So like I said, there's times that we go into situations we want to be the man, and try to feel like we know everything, but just learn when to be humble, take direction, take constructive criticism, and not just try to be like, oh, I'm the guy I'm supposed to know all this, and then because it can go either way. You're going to be harsher on someone else, or you're going to be harsher on yourself. Right, and both is not good. So just be able to be humble. I think that's and listen and like I said, take good criticism, constructive criticism at times. And just take it in. Where we all don't know everything, so you got to be able to be open enough to take that.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Good question.
It was. That was. Yes, Kenny Johnson says breakdown and crying. Well, I mean, yes. That there is always room for a good cry. I'll be the first one to admit that at times, man, I find myself driving down the road, and I won't say necessarily that I mean, I feel at times maybe I could cry a little bit out of nowhere, but like just yelling, I'll like driving down the road and you just get a good, you just let it go for a few, and like that, just that release right there is enough to like just,
absolutely. And it goes all the way around. I mean, there's just, when it's like when you lose a loved one or something that just hits you, sometime in your life, there's a memory that comes up, and it just hits you really hard. Don't feel like you got to be a man and suck it in and suck it up. Move on. It's okay. Like I said, break down and cry. Whether you want to do it by yourself or do it with your significant other, or however you handle it. Don't be afraid to cry. Sometimes it's really needed.
Yeah. We got another good question in here from Andrew. He says, while being vulnerable, how do you allow yourself to reduce your anxiety, i.e. ground yourself? I got the heart thing in the moment. Ground yourself and overstimulate yourself and allow your thoughts to no longer ramble. That is a great question also. And I think the most important thing for me is breathing. I have found I've dealt with panic attacks and panic disorder for over half my life, 20 years, 21, 22 years. And there's been segments of my life where this fly is driving me crazy. There's been segments in my life where I've had like years at a time, where I've been in that fight or flight mode. And from the second I wake up until, and it's like I got kicked out of the Navy for it, my panic attacks. It's like, it's been a real thing, and I've had to learn how to control that. And one of the biggest things for me is just knowing, aside from knowing that it's just a physical reaction to a mental something that's going on, is just breathing. Box breathing, breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, breathe out for 4, hold it for 4, do that cycle, whatever works for you. Breathing has been such a huge thing for me, Bandit, and it's huge. I've looked into it a whole bunch, and it's such a good thing, a good way to just block out everything, and it really works with your nervous system a little bit and stuff, and it really can help you actually like chemically like chill out. So breathing definitely for me.
For sure. And this goes back to kind of just generally we were talking about this, but just music, man. Like music has so much of an impact on our lives, and like I said, our mental and emotion. There's sometimes, and it can even make us more anxious and things like that. But it's for me, it's like, it doesn't have to be anything specific. Like if you have those calming sounds, you know what I mean? That can help as well. Those help with me as well. And sometimes I just gotta separate myself from everybody and just be like, look, I need a minute. And just do a little, just like my own self-reflection, and just get everything out of my head. and just kind of just telling myself I'm okay, and work through it and figure it out. Just like sometimes you need that time just to yourself. It's kind of like that. Take a
minute. Yeah. You just gotta. You like it's. I try a lot to put. I mean, I'm by myself doing things in my studio or whatever a lot, but it's important to really find like those few minutes, even if it's just a couple minutes during the end of the day, to just decompress, kind of reflect on what, or in the morning too, right when you first wake up, either way, but just to kind of reflect on the day. How are you feeling? What are your stresses right now? What's bothering you? And like even just trying to set little goals about how to overcome those things, or turn those stresses around into successes or whatever is
absolutely. And that was a great question, like follow-up question to that too. Now I would like to hear it from kind of from the chat and everybody that's in here too about what they do that to help with that as well. I mean, you sharing all that information and sharing with each other different ways of how to deal with that as well. Maybe we'll help someone else out there. So definitely shoot us some ideas over in the chat as well.
Yeah. I feel like another thing that has really helped me, and I don't do it all the time anymore, but cold showers. A cold shower in the morning is crazy. Even like not even just a full on crank it cold, jump in, wash, all that. I will, you get in, I'll do my regular shower routine, whatever I got to do. Then right before I get out, turn that joint cold, bro. And then you go like, I would even have a timer, and I would just set it for like 30 seconds at first or whatever, and work my way up to a minute, bro, a minute, 2 minutes, something like that in the morning. And it just, it wakes you up. You feel fresh. It relieves your stress. It like there's real, I'm not a scientist. I'm not, but I've researched the shit, and I don't know enough about it to be confident with saying it does this to your, but it does stuff to your body, And so like, and then also mentally, I feel like if you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation at the beginning of the day, like me, like that shit sucks, bro. I don't like it. I don't like being cold. But if I do that and I get it out of the way at the beginning of the day, I feel like I've already made that triumph to begin with. And so it sets myself up for the rest of the day growing off of a win already, And so that's another thing mentally that I've really used to kind of control that downward spiral at times,
Yeah, I hear
you. So let's I want to kind of shift gear. I know we kind of had some light questions and stuff here. I want to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about we've all had a dark time or many dark times throughout our life. Can you, if you feel, I mean, you take me wherever you comfortably feel like you can go, because this show is it's really about growth and reflection more than it's about stirring up stuff that we've already worked on getting past, or that we, you know what I mean? And so like, take me to your state of mind mentally at one of your darkest times.
Yeah. And I just kind of want to touch on this briefly, not too much, but I mean, it was after losing my mom, like, and I lost her very young. I lost her when I was 17 years old, and being the youngest of three at the time. And I took it really, really hard mentally. It took me to a very dark place of just alienation. I feel like, nobody at the time could feel how I feel unless, you've been through the same situation. And that's so I kind of stayed away from, or out of those situations, or away from those people that try to, hey, I know how you feel. And because it just kind of took me more off,
Yeah, like, do you know?
Yeah, right, yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, that was my darkest moment. Losing my supporter. The one that I really took dear to, and took, it's like losing a piece of your heart. So I was in a really dark place at that time. Like I said, I wasn't really going out. I wasn't functioning, talking, communicating. Barely energy to to get up and go to work and just do daily functions of everyday life. Mm-hmm. So it took me to a really depressed stage in my life. It's crazy.
So now, okay, so that's we don't need to say any more about that. With the stage set for that, or from there, where did you find the tools to get yourself out of there?
I think I just really came to the realization of, my family, my other supporters, that realizing that, hey, they're there, mm-hmm. Instead of having to go through and deal with it myself and try to figure out my own way, that, there are other ways, and just talking about it. And, I just wasn't ready to talk about it, mm-hmm. and that was okay. Mm-hmm. But, and then I was just left with okay, what do I talk about? Like, where do I start? From just that point of the loss to, all right, where I'm at, my mind, where it's at now. Mm-hmm. So I was just kind of confused about okay, when he said talk about it, okay, well, what do you want to know? Right. So that's where I kind of felt more lost. But then that's where that other side, the gradual climb started happening. It's just talking and just talking about it and starting wherever I felt comfortable, right? And so they're just there just to listen. And so that's my family was kind of more the big supporter of that.
Yeah. That's sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah. Sometimes that's all it takes is just some loved ones, just to be there, just to be there. I lost my mom too when I was 16, and I feel like that is one of the things that really we have connected on. I feel like that's kind of one of the things that we've bonded and why we've been so close over the years, is because we both share that loss, and that, we've been there. Like, yeah, like, yes, I do know how you feel. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I do, right. Bro. And exactly. So like, exactly. But I feel like I personally, I put on that tough guy thing when my mom died. And like, I sat there and I didn't cry at the funeral. And part of that was to be tough for the rest of my family. Mm-hmm. Because everyone else wasn't tough, right. Everyone else wasn't. And so it was, I felt like it was my job to be the tough guy, right. But like that, I feel like that, didn't allow me to grieve like completely how I needed to. And so, just kind of same thing with me, just talking about it. Even now, even this now feels therapeutic to me. Just talking about it, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I haven't done it that much because of trying to be that tough guy. And then now it's been so long since she's passed that it's just kind of what it is, you know what I mean? And so, like, if I could tell people in the chat, like, if you guys, it doesn't matter how long it's been since you've gone through something, like, if you still feel like there's those feelings inside, like, it's super important for you guys to talk to somebody about it. You don't know, like, like what we were talking about, like what I talked about with Alex on his podcast. You don't know the questions that you need to ask or that you need to be asked until somebody asks them, and that's such a crazy thing, but it's so true. And so I hope that if anybody out there is going through stuff, that they can be asked those questions. They can find those questions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And kind of diving more into that as well, to kind of, it does, like I said, it doesn't have to be, like I said, for your family members or someone like that. And it could be someone that you don't know. If you feel more comfortable with, not talking explaining that to your family or whatever you feel about that, it could be someone else. It doesn't have to be someone that's your family member. Like, like how me and Riz have that connection. Mm-hmm. But we still felt at some point in time, we still didn't want to talk about it to mm-hmm. each other. So, that took us some time to get up to that. Yep. To even feel comfortable about talking to that. And of course we got emotional, but hey, we got to it, we got up to it, and we talked about it, and that's important. It built us a more closer connection, mm-hmm. brotherly bond too, as well. and saying you never know what you're going to get out of it for yourself. From there too. So there's a lot of gain in just talking about it. Like
it. Yeah, I've talked to multiple therapists. With by myself. I've gone with close family members to talk about things and figure out, even if it's just to have somebody there that is a neutral listener, and that can just hear you guys. If you have somebody in your family that you need to maybe work some stuff out, take them with you. Go and go find somebody that you can talk to. It feels so good to just talk about stuff, and just maybe that person just sits there and listens the whole time, but just having that person there, you guys feel comfortable enough to work through it, knowing that if things do get tough in the conversation, that person is there for you to help you guys navigate through. So man,
it's all about figuring out what works for you. You're not going to know what works for you unless you give it a try. You do it.
Yep.
Right.
I want to tap back in with chat here for a minute. You guys are going crazy. Kenny Johnson says controlling that fear and recognizing it. Something in the shower. Yes, in the shower for sure.
Oh yeah, talking about the anxiety thing.
Yeah. Without it snowballing. Yeah, the anxiety. Yeah, definitely. It's important to find tools that work for you to control that without like he said, snowballing. Like there's times where my panic disorder is so bad that it feels like my brain is just spinning and it's just holding on to that one little thread, bro. And at any time, like one little thing's just gonna make it, and I'm out of here, bro. Like
that cool shower thing, I'm kind of scared about it. I don't know. That's too much cold water on my body. So I don't know. I might give it a try, but it probably will be about 0.5 seconds.
Yeah. You gotta start somewhere, man.
Just real quick.
Andrew says, as someone who is on the spectrum, didn't get my official diagnosis until April, 45 years. That happens too. Like that's crazy. I'm glad you found some answers, Andrew. Reducing my anxiety triggers has been a huge struggle for me. My relief of late has been building my personal relationships with my family and friends. Yep. Exactly. That's all you can do. If that's what works for you, then family and friends are huge, and just focusing on those positive
those places to start, man.
Mm-hmm, those positive relationships. Kenny Johnson says, how does one deal with PTSD from childhood? I think just like what we said is what we were just talking about kind of is trying to identify what you need to get out. And I want to remind people that I'm not a trained professional. I'm not a mental health doctor or a therapist or I'm none of those things. But what I can give you guys is my experiences and the things that I've learned trying to figure it out, figure my way through it. And so
life.
Yeah, man, I feel like anything that if you're still holding on to, if you still have those things from childhood, I think a super important thing would be to find out how you can communicate those things to someone, to start to build that confidence that that those things are in the past, and that you're growing and you're going forward, and you're working on yourself now. And
absolutely. And then I would say also, like once you figure out what it is that's the cause of that, then I think the next step is, and it could be a hard step too in that process, is figuring out who to talk to about it.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to find that right person. Like I said, it goes back to what we were just discussing. It could be a family member, close friend, or just a therapist, somebody that's randomly that you don't know that you would feel more comfortable talking to before you go to your family and friends. You know, that's figuring out that part first, because what you know it is, but it can change how you're going to explain it and what you're going to say if it's going to be from your family to your friends to a random person, right? You talk to a random person or a therapist, you don't care, they don't know you, they don't know them, you have no ties. But then, are you going to say that same thing, being that honest to your friends and explaining that to them and your family?
Right, so right.
It's all about how you feel going into that, and because you have to get past it, you got to be honest. Make it all out there, and when you're ready to do that, deciding on who you tell that to is kind of the next step, which can be hard still in its own aspect.
Yep, and that's part of just being vulnerable and knowing that it's okay to be vulnerable.
Exactly.
Yeah. Michael Pala says your guys' music is my therapy. Hey, I love that.
I love that. I appreciate you.
Kenny Johnson says, I appreciate the experience, strength, and hope. Yeah, man, we're just here trying to help, trying to share what we've done and what we've been through, and hopefully people can take something from that,
Hey, you know it, Alex.
Andrew says a higher power is definitely still working the message through and through, Riz. Hell yeah, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, Kenny Johnson, I'm seeing a mental health specialist right now. It took me almost 45 years to realize that my childhood trauma is what is catching up to me in my adulthood. Bro, that's really huge. Yeah. That you're seeing someone. That's really huge that you're willing to admit that too. That really shows me that you are doing the right things and you're willing to take the right steps to get the help you need, because it's tough to let your guard down enough to.
It's never too late, man. It's never too late. It's not about if, it's about when. If you know it, you can hold on for years.
Yeah.
And then still figuring out what's going on, but you really know what's going on until you actually address it and face it head on, man. It's all going back to that vulnerability stage.
Yep. Yeah. Good luck, Kenny. That's awesome, man. Yeah, people helping people. Hit the thumbs up for your boy B's voice blowing out subwoofers. Let's go.
Oh, let's go, baby. Let's go. I see you.
Bass in the voice.
My guy right there. Appreciate that. Man, doing big things over there.
Steven Statura says, appreciate you guys, bro. If I said your last name wrong, Steve, I'm sorry. Steve, that's my guy, man. That's my duo's buddy on Warzone right there. I appreciate you guys being in the chat and holding it down. You guys are like busy in there today. All right, so let's shift gears here a bit. And now that we've talked about that, you took me through a dark time. We went over how we got out of that, and so this show's not only about the stresses and the pressure and all that, but it's also about the triumphs. And so take me through your proudest moment.
Oh man, I think my proudest moment, and as I said, there's a few that kind of really hit home. So while my mom was living, and I didn't have the greatest, wasn't the greatest scholar in school. Let's say that, missed a lot of, skipped a bunch of days, at some days and sometimes I barely even touched the school grounds,
Feel it.
But it's academically, I wasn't struggling. I wasn't doing very good. But during a stint that I was kind of going through, just like, hey, I want to change my life around for the good. I want to see how what my mind can do if I really put it to the test. And and that's what I did. And I ended up kind of holding a 4.0 GPA for 8 months and got an honor roll, and I graduated and got I was close enough to getting graduating high school, but I ended up getting my GED. But that was a feat for me because I never thought I would even get there.
Yeah.
I was always thought I was like that high school fuck up. I was never going to be in there. That was my mental kind of mental setting myself up for failure, you know.
Yep.
But it's something just clicked, and I just stuck with it. And like I said, going through that time, I didn't think I could. Just gonna pick it up, put it down. You know, my mind's gonna move on to something else.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the education was a part of that. But something just clicked, and that I got my GED, and then that's when I found out I really wanted to go to culinary school to be a chef. And I found a program that helped me out with that. They paid for my GED if I passed, and paid for my my application submission fee to get to culinary school. If I got this grade, passed by this number for the GED class, and I did. And so that was like one of my proudest moments. Like, hey, I actually stuck with it. I did it and followed it through. So I just started thinking, well, how far can I go? How much further can I really sticking with it? And so I really stuck with it. And it was really a struggle going through the culinary process. And that was about a year and a couple months going through that. I had to pay fees, which, you know, I was working a job and going to culinary school at night. I worked, 6 o'clock in the morning till about, 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And then from there, the class started at 5 o'clock, 5 to 9, Monday through Friday. And so it was really a struggle to even try to get the mentality, stay with the mentality of staying with it, mentally, physically. So but somehow, I really wanted it. And that's how bad I wanted it. I made sure I got up and even in times like I'm too tired to go to culinary school, stand on my feet for the next 4 hours. And doing that. So there was a lot of chances that I could have given up, but I didn't, because I wanted it so bad. And then that whole changeover was just gave me an insight to my own mind of how when I'm determined and you want something, how far you will go to get it. So that was my most proudest moment, is kind of that whole changeover from mentally and wanting something, and getting that, and getting my GED, going to culinary school, sticking it through and graduating, so that I can quit my job that was just so I didn't enjoy doing, to hey, now I'm getting into something that I love. You feel me?
Seeing the goal, putting it into motion, and then achieving that goal, man.
And I appreciate it. Thanks, man. And it was a big feat for me, and that's what it goes to. Like the end goal for me at that time was get out of culinary school, graduate culinary school. I didn't go in here to fail,
Right.
And so that was the end goal: get out of graduate culinary school. But then those little feats, those little manageable goals, stepping stones in between to get there, is what I really mainly focused on. Is all right, let's get through this trimester. Let's get through this. This is what I'm struggling at. This is what's they're seeing that I'm gonna hold me back. Let's focus on that to help make sure I get to that next course, that next class. That GED test. Let's focus on passing that. It's all those little measurable steps, that I'm focusing on, that are in my, my focus. Besides that, that ending goal of just graduating culinary school. So that's what helped me do that focus. I had Post-it stamps just kind of on my binders and notebooks. Do this. This is what's coming. This is this. Prep for this. This is this. And then I did at the end of this notebook. In my binder, graduate culinary school was at the end. So you never turn to the end of a binder. Until you get there, you know what I mean? And that's what I wrote on the end of that binder. Is like graduate culinary school.
That's awesome.
That's it, man. And it happened one day. That little cardboard out at the end, and
made it to the back of the book, man.
Did it, baby? It did. That was my proudest moment, walking across that stage.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It was amazing.
All right. Well, I got a couple more little questions for you as we wind down here. I am curious, do you have any, I know you said you don't necessarily like the cold showers. Do you have any self-care routines or anything that you do to try to keep yourself focused, keep yourself sharp?
I mean, it's not mostly of a routine that I do. Like, I don't do it faithfully every day as much as I would want to, and as I should. It's just kind of just looking myself in the mirror, just telling myself, hey, look, whatever today brings, you're going to handle it. You're going to get past it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be right back in this bathroom or in this mirror, looking at yourself. Look, we got through the day. Now let's get some rest and get back to it. So it's kind of that looking at yourself in the mirror kind of thing, just facing it and facing yourself and just getting yourself through that mental kind of affirmation. Hey, you did good. We got through the day. And before you go to bed, and then when you wake up, hey, let's get through the day. We're here. We're wake up. We're breathing. That's it. Like I said, I don't do it as much as I should and need to, want to, like to. But those things, and it could happen randomly throughout the day. Something stressful happens. You got to, or you get to have a bad day. You just got to take time, take a breather, and like, look, it's good. We'll get through it.
Yep.
It's only temporary. It's not, don't let it ruin the whole day, kind of thing. So it's I don't know if it's really a routine, but I would like to call it something that I fall back on.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, those are important. Stuff like that's important. Just little, whatever it may be, little things that you can do. I'm guilty of not necessarily sticking to routines that I set up for myself, but I feel like my need for them is kind of more in waves. It comes and goes, and so I'm pretty good about knowing what I need to do, like when I need to do it. But yeah, like you said, I'm not doing
it's almost like
every day,
It's almost like those light prescriptions when they say as needed.
Exactly. It's exactly. I mean? Yep. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So, all right. One more thing here. So on this show, we like to advocate for mental health awareness. I feel like that's kind of my thing, sure. And, what would you say is something that you advocate for, or that I
was more like the kind of on the depression side, because I said I've been through it, and I've never really actually been openly talking about it, and how, besides just being on here for the first time. So and I do feel comfortable talking about it, and I think that's something that everybody that's possibly going through it or trying to find a way to work through it, it's just talking about it. So I would like to advocate for those of just going through depression, trying to figure out how to navigate it, and there's ways to you just gotta get out there, and when you're ready, when you're ready, just get out there and just find something that works for you. And it starts with talking about it.
Yeah, definitely. Kenny Johnson says, I think creating a family was my biggest accomplishment, and finding new friends and connections through you guys. It's hard to find good friends. I keep my circle small like a pen dot. Yeah. I think as you become more aware of what you need in life to keep you and the people around you happy and taken care of, I think circles tend to get smaller. And that's not necessarily to say anything about the people that are no longer in your circle, because I feel like their circle got smaller too, and they're more focused on the people that are in their immediate circle. You know what I mean? And so good for you, Kenny. Like that is a great accomplishment to be at that point in life where you can where that's it. Like that's I mean, you care about the family and people that are close to you, and you've found ways to, you know what I mean? Like it's and that's not to say that the other people are you don't care about them anymore, but I mean, people only have so much to give.
And I think kind of what I get from what Kenny's saying too, which is it's a great comment. It goes back to the term of misery loves company, right? So it's who you surround yourself with, and like I said, it could be those old friends that you feel you need to move on from whatever's been going on, and they want to just keep you down in that kind of misery state of just hey, I'm right there with you, and it's you want to surround yourself with positivity, with somebody that's on that same level of building that mental positivity and healthy relationships, and not just kind of constantly just be in a state of depression, being down. So that's it's surrounding yourself. You need to separate yourself from those people, and so be it. It's if that's what's going to help you, because when it comes down to it, you're ground zero.
You
and yours.
Yep.
So
Yep.
That's what I do. They're great comment, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah. He also says going to the gym is starting to be a routine for me, but not to be a meathead. Yeah. The gym is great. The gym is a great outlet. Before I messed my shoulder up here a year and a half ago, the gym is such a great form of release and outlet. So yeah, that's cool, man.
I would say it comes anything kind of more physical. Being active, like going on hikes as well, like nature hikes, like doing that as well. And getting in the gym for sure. But I'm saying some of that's just stimulating.
Yeah. Going on a walk.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Michael Pala says it's not the size of the circle that matters, but the quality of those within.
Yes, sir. Right on the money.
There's a dick joke in there somewhere. I'm sorry. That's the
is laughing right now about it too.
That's the outtake for the show.
Get away with that.
Yeah. No, seriously though. It's not about how many friends you have or how many, how big your friends list is or anything. It's about who you keep as your company. So Andrew says to build upon it, get more information and professionals out there is my dream, especially spectrum professionals and outlets to get more diagnosis granted for those who might not be able to afford it. The cost for testing. Yeah, definitely.
That's great, man. Especially for those that can afford it, because it can be so, just from there can be so out of reach.
It's tough. It's tough to find good mental health help,
that you're just not another case. That actually want to help. So that's in that is I can definitely vouch and understand that too as well.
Yeah,
so, for sure.
Kenny Johnson says this podcast has been great. Much love to you, homies. We love to hear that.
Appreciate you.
Much love to you too, man.
Yeah, this is different for me too as well. Like going through all these subjects and talking about this. Like I haven't talked about that for a long time. But, it's just kind of like that being okay with it and explaining and talking about it, opening yourself up to vulnerability.
Well, and that's what it is: being okay, not being okay.
Exactly. Which is it's a great feeling, and a lot of us, we should be doing that a lot more. More.
Yep. So as we close things up here, is there anything else that you want to leave the people?
I mean, like I said, we've just been touching on it so often here in this segment that it's okay to first of all be vulnerable, and then okay to talk to someone about it, but you have to be ready to talk about it. And so I said, just first figure out what it is that is bugging you, is what you feel the problem is. Then once you get that, I said, find somebody to talk to. I said, it doesn't have to be a family or a close friend. It could be a therapist, but you got to feel that you got to go to that person that you feel comfortable talking about it, so that you can be yourself and be honest. And because it's not going to go how you want it to go if you're not honest and you're not comfortable. So
it probably won't go how you want it to go, even if you are honest. And
right.
So you got
you won't know unless you try. You can't say it was a failure because you never did it.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
There's so much business going on right now, and like between what you're doing and we got a bunch of great shows out there, a bunch of great live streaming and podcasts coming up. So I hope we need to see more of this, bring this up to light, and it's good things, and I'm really excited about the future. With everybody that I got, really excited.
Man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I appreciate you being on here, man. And that's it. That's what we got. We went for an hour and 10 minutes, and we were vulnerable, and that's what it's about. And,
I was still like 30 minutes. I thought we were still going.
Yeah, man. It was an honor. I'm blessed to have you. I'm blessed to have you in my life, man. I love you, bro. Yes, sir. And thank you, everybody, for being here. We will catch you guys next time on UpLeft State of Mind.